Death's Door is a top-down action-adventure game where you play a crow that reaps souls. Your employer, a bureaucratic company called the Reaping Commission, assigned you to collect a giant soul of a creature unwilling to leave this world. Not an easy job, but definitely one that pays well. So you immediately head through the doorway and slay this monster, only for the soul to be snatched right away from you. In order to retrieve it, you need to aid an old crow and reap the souls of 3 powerful creatures obsessed with escaping the clutches of death. When I first saw a trailer of this game, I just knew it would be special, and I was not disappointed. Death's Door combines Zelda-like exploration, dungeons, and puzzles with a fast-paced combat that is challenging without ever being unfair. Whenever I died, I knew it was nothing but my own fault, because I either didn't get the timing right or was too greedy. Fortunately, unlike your unfortunate targets, you don't have to fear death, because even though it might look like it, this game is neither a Souls nor a roguelike, which means you will always keep your progress. Ultimately, the worst thing that could happen is that you have to retrace your steps from the last door you activated as a fast travel point. While the combat is relatively simple, it feels very fluid and extremely satisfying. There are 4 ranged weapons to acquire: a bow, fireball, bomb, and hookshot, that are used for both combat and puzzle solving. Additionally, there are 5 melee weapons to find, with different ranges, damage, hits, and speed. You have your basic light and heavy attacks, but neither the ability to parry nor block, so your only way of defense is an evade roll. Most enemies are rather deadly once you get too close to them, so you might be inclined to just keep your distance and shoot them from afar. But you can only use your ranged weapons 4 times before you need to recharge them with melee attacks on enemies or objects. I really enjoyed this fast and balanced combat, but again, you shouldn't expect anything overly complex. While there is a way to upgrade your strength, dexterity, haste, and magic by collecting soul energy from enemies, it's not like those improvements are particularly noticeable. Other than that, you can also beat hidden challenges to upgrade your ranged weapons, which either makes them stronger or adds an extra feature. The upgraded hookshot slashes the enemy when reeling in, and the fireball burns enemies over time. Instead of offering a big skill tree, Death's Door seems much more focused on you getting good, so the biggest change you will probably notice is the improvement of your own skills. Enemies come with a variety of different abilities and consistent attack patterns. By themselves, they are easy to defeat, but the game tends to throw waves of different enemy types at you, so that you constantly have to dodge incoming fireballs and try not to get stomped while getting some hits in. You will probably have seen every enemy type after a few hours and will notice some repaints, but the way they are mixed keeps the fights engaging. There are no enemy health bars. Instead, more and more red cuts will appear the closer they come to their ultimate demise. You, on the other hand, have 4 health and that's it. In most areas, you can't heal mid-fight, as it's not possible to replenish your health with items or spells. Instead, you need to find life seeds that you can then plant in life pots scattered all around the world. The resulting plant will fully restore your health on the spot, but can only be used once before dying or going back to the Reaping Commission. Returning to this hub will heal you as well, but it will also respawn all enemies, so you usually just go there to upgrade your skills. The standard foes are entertaining, but where the game really shines is when it comes to its mini-bosses and bosses. With only about 8 to 10 hours of playtime, there aren't too many bosses overall, but the ones that are there are versatile, unique, and entertaining. I love their visual designs, and it's fun to figure out their skills and attack patterns. The level of difficulty was perfect for me, although I guess for someone who has played many similar games, it might be too easy, so it's unfortunate that there's no way to increase the difficulty. One of my favorite parts that is also one of the main attractions of the game is exploration. Death's Door has an excellent level design, and it's not only beautiful to look at, but also cleverly arranged and full of secrets to uncover. Exploration is always rewarded, with ladders, levers, manholes, gates, caves, hidden passages, and even shifting perspectives hiding soul orbs, life seeds, collectibles, and shrines that help you upgrade your health and magic. Generally, each area has its own theme, with recurring puzzles that are all too familiar. You fire arrows to light torches, use bombs to demolish walls, activate switches while avoiding lasers, and navigate your way around vanishing platforms. While none of these puzzles were particularly difficult, they are a welcome distraction from all the soul-wrenching reaping. In each area, you basically repeat the same loop. Scout a large outside area full of enemies, find dungeons to explore, solve puzzles, free souls to open the door to a big challenge, gain a new ability, and finally fight your way to the level's boss. The areas are all divided into different sections that are connected by shortcuts. Oftentimes, when you conquer a wave of enemies, there's a ladder dropping down or gates opening in front of you, allowing you to progress through the level quickly from the closest door the next time you die. It's a clever way to diminish frustratingly long routes and give you a rewarding sense of progression. One of the main aspects I want to point out is the extreme level of polish. For a small team of just 2 developers and some artists, it's downright impressive how beautiful, fluid, well thought through and engaging this game is. I have played a lot of promising indie games over the years that turned out to have either clunky controls, a boring story, or repetitive gameplay. And I always thought, well, of course they had to cut back on something and couldn't possibly nail every part of the game. But Acid Nerve is one of the few who managed to do exactly that. I didn't encounter a single bug or performance issue, and it's clear to see how much love and care went into this game. The beautiful soundtrack alone blew me away. If I had known before that it was composed by David Fenn, the same guy who did the amazing soundtrack for Moonlighter, the amount of times I caught myself whistling these tunes wouldn't have been as surprising to me. It always sets the right mood, like the melancholic and respectful tunes of the cemetery, the much more colorful and mysterious sounds of the overgrown ruins, and of course the powerful songs that urge you on to fight even faster. I mean, just listen to this. The sound design is spot on as well, and I'm glad that there's no voiceover. The way my mute crow boy tilts his head when talking to people was enough to make me feel connected to him. While there is a story in this game, it is by no means the main focus, so there aren't a lot of people you meet during your adventure. But the characters you do meet are charming, interesting, and often funny. Like Jefferson, who desperately tries to convince you he's a human seafood cook, and definitely not a squid controlling a lifeless meat puppet. Or Statholm, who holds lovely services for the bosses you've slain. If I had to complain about one thing, it's that I didn't want this game to end. I would have loved 1 or 2 more areas and bosses, but for the price of just $20, the content is more than sufficient, especially since there's a secret ending with much more to explore. Death's Door is one of the best games I've played in several years. With its fun and fluid combat, beautiful visuals, engaging level and puzzle design, amazing soundtrack and impressive level of polish, it's easy to fall in love with this absolute gem of a game. So, have you already played the game or do you want to? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and see you in the next video.